Hi.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so glad I figured it out. I
Oh,
was like, wait,
you're good, Katie. This takes like 5 minutes for me to figure out. I can't see you right now. Can you see me?
yeah, I can see you.
Okay. I don't know why I can't see you. I bring the technological like issues normally, so um, that's my gift to this live. Uh,
I was sitting with discomfort trying to figure out the setting up the live, so we got it.
you- I hope I can see you though. I'm looking at just darkness right now.
Oh, is
Um,
it something with my camera, you think?
I'm not sure. For those who just joined us, can you see both Katie and myself? I'm going to make you all our tech support here for a moment. We're going to go through that level of discomfort first together, and then we'll go from there.
Is this the opening
This
exercise?
is an opening exercise. Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone can. Okay, so as long as
Thanks, Rachel.
as long as you all can see Katie and myself, then that'll be good. Maybe you'll pop in at some point though, but looks weird. I'm like talking to myself right now though. So maybe this level of discomfort will just help the conversation. I'm standing with discomfort right now, though, not to make a pun out of this thing.
Oh no, I'm sorry you can't see us.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I always have some level of technological like difficulty with the lives, and then we just roll with it, and then we learn, we laugh, we have a good time. So I hope everyone has a good time with this. You know, Katie, I've been so excited to talk to you anyway about any topic, but this topic I know from our conversation a few weeks ago is like near and dear to our hearts, right? Like this idea of discomfort and like what's meaningful, what's appropriate, what we can sit with, what we should really intervene upon.
Hmm. And I think like, your passion, I mean, we're both really passionate about the mind body connection and like your background of really working with the body and what does that mean and seeing how the mind impacts that and vice versa for me. So even just our mini conversation, it's like, let's do this, Brian. Let's have a further discussion on
Oh,
this.
let's do this. Let's do this. And I hope whoever is like joining us live, please get add some comments in, add some questions, direct the conversation. This is all for you. Both Katie and myself can talk about this for like literally days, and we probably do. But I want to make sure that everyone gets something out of it because this is such a big topic, and we're not going to get to all of it in 30 minutes. But to maybe start the conversations and really kind of let things vent, this might really open up other pathways to talk about these things. So they're important for performance. They're important for our longevity, for loving your life, for being able to do big things, and then be able to like celebrate them as well too. So I can talk on tangents all day long though. But maybe we should just introduce ourselves first for people that are just showing up. Maybe for people who haven't met me before or haven't met you before.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go.
Okay, perfect. So I am Katie O'Leary. I am a mental health practitioner that focuses on chronic stress and trauma. So the concept and discussion of sitting with discomfort is a massive discussion that I have in my offerings of recovering and healing from trauma, whether that be emotional trauma, physical trauma, attachment trauma, whatever the case. So I'm just really passionate to talk further about this.
Oh, I love that. And to cross over, I don't want to say I'm the physical part of that because it's not as clear. We know that pain is not just physical or emotional or mental. But I'm Dr. Brian. I am a physical therapist. I practiced for 14 years, and I primarily work with individuals who are trying to improve their performance, and maybe pain is something that's getting in the way. A lot of times with the people that I serve, circus artists, there's this level of what's normal discomfort, what's not normal, and when to intervene, especially around like stress fractures, tendinopathies. And it can get really serious and it can really be really like life changing when you can no longer get in the air and do what you do to pay the bills. So there's a lot that goes on in my own programming and my own conversation with clients, both circus arts and even general population. The topic of discomfort and understanding discomfort and what that means to you specifically is so crucial. So this is like such an awesome topic to bring in more of the mental, the emotional, and really have the physical in tow as well.
So let me start by asking you, Ryan, like, what do you, especially with working with your clients and population, what does discomfort usually mean for you and the clients you work with?
Oh, so if we're talking about like circus art specifically, discomfort almost becomes synonymous with like, well, I'm learning how to get on pole, or I'm doing some trapeze work, or doing some ankle hangs. So there's a level of this is just part of what we do in the air. Like we're gonna find some level of something that doesn't feel so good, but it's safe. That's one level of discomfort that's almost like anticipated. Whereas if we take it down the spectrum, that discomfort can bubble up and become true pain, or something even worse, something that's no longer understood, and it's stopping you in your tracks from doing normal day-to-day activities. And a lot of times, there for my clientele, there is discomfort that's only there during circus, and not really there during normal day-to-day activities. But in my general population clientele, there can be aches and pains, discomfort that people are really getting fearful of, and now it stops them from doing other things that are meaningful for them besides just recreational things, or the things that we would do like in the air or in circus.
So would you say discomfort and pain are synonymous or are they different?
So I think it's a spectrum, and I could be wrong. Like I'm going to give myself a disclaimer here. Like I have been studying pain for 14 years, and we still have like just scratched the surface. I don't know how you feel about that, Katie. Like there's so much we know and so much we don't know, but what we do know, it's highly personalized, and it's very much sensory, emotional, and physical, right? So
Mhm.
so when it comes to like looking at discomfort, and looking at pain together in like the same breath, they are on the same spectrum, but the level where it becomes something more that is almost a fear-based response is when it now feels like it's unsafe.
Yeah.
So in traditional physical therapy, we use like a numeric pain rating scale, a 0 to 10 scale, and I don't really like the scale, to be honest. But 0 is like the absence of pain, and 10 is like so bad I should go to the hospital, go to the emergency room, and I'm on fire. Like it's like that level. And we try to quantify between those things though, but really someone's pain threshold and someone's discomfort level, discomfort for me, meaning that it is something that's allowable. It's not welcome, but it's allowable, but it's not something that is crucial and should be intervened upon in a way of like getting therapy or getting something more specific and formalized. But there's thresholds that are in different populations, and there's thresholds individually. But the big point here along the spectrum here is when it feels unsafe, when it's something that causes you to question yourself as to do I have actual tissue damage, something that feels uncomfortable. That a simple
Mhm.
response.
Yes, I love that you went into that because there is the spectrum, and we really want to gauge, especially with emotional health and emotional discomfort, we want to gauge like, is this safe to go into right now? A lot of individuals, especially with trauma, come to me and we're kind of trained to avoid discomfort, right? We get even more flared up at times with discomfort. We, evolutionary perspective, want to go towards pleasure, go towards safety. And in the reality, sometimes recovering and going back to a not so stressful, feeling out of control place means having to sit through some discomfort and knowing what to do through that discomfort.
Mm. And I love that take too, and I agree. I mean, it's my bias as well. So, like discomfort's a teacher
Yeah.
in my perspective, and really we could either shut that teacher out, and then maybe that discomfort becomes painful in other ways. It maybe takes on different forms, but to your point, I love that. Like sitting with it, it invites a conversation versus something that you have to shut down. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure with your clientele and with my clientele, establishing what's allowable discomfort, what feels meaningful and productive. Maybe the word is agitated. Like it can agitate to prompt a response.
Mm-hmm.
And um, even with my own um, pain journey, with my own mental health journey, 9 times out of 10, when I learn how to appropriately sit with the discomfort, whether it feels like something that is injury based or something that is more like a feeling, maybe more emotional based, there's so many lessons to be learned from that. But being honest, it's hard to sometimes sit with that. We either
100%.
we either go, oh, this is uncomfortable, I'm gonna do it anyway, and don't think about really what that means, or we go, oh, that's uncomfortable, and maybe I'll not never do that again. Both of those could be the same incident of discomfort, but it's vastly different forks in the road, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, yes, I just like went blank. Um, but yeah, and I think too, and tell me what you feel about this, the physical component, even though they're so integrated, is I think it takes practice. In my world of mental health, we use the word pendulation. So we, it's almost like exposure therapy. We expose a little to discomfort, and then we teach like some soothing, and then we go a bit more pain or discomfort more, and then go back and forth to really get through and learn how to face it. Because a lot of the discomfort that I see individuals with trauma and chronic stress experience is like these immense sensations in the body of fear, and the thoughts can be brutal. And I say like trauma survivors and individuals in chronic stress become their biggest bullies with that voice. And so, and for me, it's learning to sit with that discomfort of this voice and how to kind of separate from it and navigate and then come self-soothe.
Mm, that sounds a lot like training your mind
It
in
is, yeah.
a kind way. Like that. So that's I love that too, because self-soothing, really it's like learning the lesson, but also being able to have the self-care and the ability to sit with what the lesson's teaching afterwards.
Because I feel like, and I don't know your perception, but like for me, when someone has a trauma, to me there's that emotional injury that may flare up for a long time. So it's accepting the reality that pain is inevitable, and then what do we want to do when that pain comes up so it doesn't then take over our life immensely, where it's holding us back from connection, from pleasure, from fun, and all of that.
I think that really is the thread there, because then it almost changes your participation in your life when it gets to that
Mm-hmm.
point where
Mm-hmm.
there we can have, and we look at this, and I'm going to make this kind of very black and white, but it's really not. Like, we have an initial injury, and maybe that injury takes 6 weeks to heal, maybe even 8 weeks at the tissue level, though. But the things that happen during that 6 to 8 weeks now, how you trained, what you've been told about your injury, what your grandfather learned about that similar injury, what legacy you have started during this injury process, that can echo far outside of 8 weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
that pain memory or pain experience, now we have encoding on the brain at multiple levels, that can hijack future participation in any kind of activity. And we it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, the thing here is conversations like this, meeting providers that understand that pain is not just the 6 to 8 weeks of healing, it's everything that comes after that point.
Mm-hmm.
It offers hope. It offers hope that yes, you're still in pain, but there are levels of improvements, levels of additional healing at the neurologic level, at the emotional level, that we're not going to talk about maybe in most Instagram posts because they're not flashy enough, or we're not going to talk about in like a regular physical therapy visit because it's not easy to document those things. The personal evolution or de-evolution that occurs when we're hurt is vastly an n equals one. It's very personalized. But the big thing here is there is so much that can be done to improve everything that happens after the initial tissue heals. And that's where people like you will shine, because you get it. You get that pain is not just I have a tendon tear. It's no, I now lost out on work. I can't hold my child. I can't drive the car anymore. I can't feed myself the same way. Oh, and now I can't climb the silks, and that gives me joy.
Yeah.
So so there's so much
It,
more than just a 6 to 8 week period of time where we're injured and we're hurting. Now, the hurt can last for years. It can last for a lifetime. And sitting with the discomfort of even talking about these things, and knowing that there's so much healing in this uncomfortable level, for me, and for a lot of my clients, and I'm sure same with yours, it offers a fresh perspective and a hope that discomfort is okay, it's anticipated, pain does not have to last forever, and if it does, there's even still levels of hope and healing despite the chronic pain you're still enduring.
Yes, I love all of what you just said. And yes, in more traditional care, because I know we both kind of had our journey with how we
Mhm.
approach care, like the traditional model of care, you don't really have time to form that rapport for the body and mind to feel safe. Usually it's like in and out, in and out, in and out. And when someone's in pain, chronic emotional pain, chronic physical pain, all of it at once, if their body doesn't feel safe and connected, it's just going to stay stuck. We could do all these exercises, whether mental, physical exercises, but if that connection, if that safety isn't there, the body can't open up and go into that vagus stage of repair. It's going to continuing to stay in that stress pain mode.
Mm. Frozen. Like that. That's. I don't know. To me, it sounds like we freeze in that place, right? And safety and fear are the two words that come up in my mind a lot when I talk to someone that's in active pain or working through a pain response. Like, how safe is their environment now for themselves? Like in here, how safe do they feel, and how safe do they feel out socially, right? And then what are their providers telling them? Are they taking away the safety there, and are they instilling fear
Mhm.
with non-responses or with just trusting that exercise is going to cure everything? Because I did it wrong for years, and I thought that I can cure any pain by cracking a back, doing 3 sets of whatever, and then building up a tissue, and then why are they still hurting? Why didn't this work? We didn't talk about anything, uh, but this should have worked because the textbook said it would work. But then
Yeah.
we divorce the safety of the person could feel completely threatened by their 3 sets of 10 or their high velocity movements. They could be threatened by going back in the air. Maybe they had there's all these elements here though, and there's this beautiful human component here, and it all comes down to, yeah, you're in pain, but do you feel safe despite that?
I love that you just called the traditional and yourself out. Like that was me too many years ago when I was working in agency. I was like, we've done the CBT model. Why aren't you fully healed? And well, because how did we bring it to life? Where was that connection? And it could be such a rotating door that I remember some of when I went for some pain, like there was no connection. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Why? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then it would just flare up even more.
And then you feel like you're failing, right? Like, and that's not a productive level of failure. Like, the provider tells you should be better by now. And I had the same spiel before, like with my concussion. Well, this is abnormal. You should be better by now. I'm like, well, define better.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to me about what's meaningful to me?
Mhm.
Because if and this is I promise I won't stay on this pulpit too long. But if your provider, your mental health provider, your physical therapist, your chiropractor, I don't care who it is, whatever the title is, if they never ask you what's meaningful in your life, and they tell you they're going to cure you or fix you or whatever it is, you can use whatever word you want, just leave.
Mm,
You're not going to feel
mm,
safe. You're not going to
mhm.
feel heard. And I'm calling myself out from like 10 years ago. We didn't know, but we can
Interesting.
evolve. We can realize that if the people we're serving don't feel safe, they don't feel heard, we don't even know what makes them them, we don't take the time or we don't dig a little bit deeper, you're not going to help them along the path. And please believe, don't try to fix anyone that's not broken, because no one's broken.
No one
We're
is
just hurting
broken.
human beings.
That's the thing, especially with trauma. It's like they've learned how to survive with this shift
Mm-hmm.
in their life. And I'm gonna geek out for a minute. I'm gonna do
I
some
no one's gonna tell you not to. I mean, I'd love
so like
it. Please speak up if you want us to not geek out.
like someone comes to you with some physical pain, someone comes to me with some emotional pain, right? We're both gonna be working with emotional and physical pain in different sense, but doing the same thing. It's impacting the body in the similar manner with that nervous system. It's going to put you in fight or flight or freeze. That amygdala, that fear, that emotions response is just going to be heightened, and which means like danger's all over. This is unsafe. This is unsafe. Pain's going to trigger this more emotional response of danger. And what can counteract that? Being in an environment that feels safe, that can calm down that amygdala, which can calm down that nervous system, so repair can be made, both the neural networks in our brain, the tissue in our body, everything.
I love that so much. If you think about what we have done traditionally, we bring people into a crowded room, right? We work with them with maybe five other people, right? Already they're feeling judged. They're feeling like there's a spotlight on them. Of course, they're not feeling safe. They're not feeling like they can open up to talk about emotions because they can affect pain. We know that. We throw an easy fix on someone by giving them some level of either. Okay, I'm gonna throw some PTs under the bus here just a little bit. But we offer them some shockwave, we offer them a needle, or we offer them some ultrasound or a hot pack, which those all can work. But we offer that and go, this should fix them, and then we walk away. And we come back, and that person's still feeling unsafe. They're still feeling judged, and no one ever asks them what they need to feel like they're back on the path again. And so, of
Mm-hmm.
course, they're not going to make any changes. So
And which
these,
don't learn how to sit with the discomfort they may feel in their body and mind and continue to freeze up and then judge oneself, shame oneself, guilt oneself because they don't feel empowered to do something when they feel that discomfort and be curious and be like, oh, what's coming up in my mind and body right now? Instead, it goes right into the shame and judgment and freeze mode.
absolutely, and that honestly can tie into, well, how do we more appropriately sit
Mm-hmm.
with safe levels of discomfort, right? Being able to go, yes, I'm uncomfortable, but I feel supported. I have a provider, or I have a network, or I have, teachers, mentors that are building up a safety network around you as you sit with this.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to, even like if I take one of the diagnoses that I work with, like tendinopathy, we have to work and load the tissue that we're thinking might be having some tendinopathic changes. We have to encourage some discomfort there to actually heal at the cellular level. And likewise in the brain too. And I don't think we're just loading the tendon when we load something up in an exercise. We're loading your preconceived notions that pain should be bad, right? And we're testing that out and going, well, we're adding a little bit of what feels like a safe dosage of pain, or pain response rather. And then we're going, well, now you should expect this. And if we have the expectations that, well, now this pain that I feel is going to help me heal, well, then it becomes more therapeutic versus it hurts. I'm scared. Why does it hurt? Oh, now it's sore later on. Is this right? Is this wrong? And then we rev up the pain centers.
Mm-hmm.
We rev up the pain
Mm-hmm.
response. So having these conversations going, this level of discomfort is a teacher. It is graded exposure to this stimulation. And by doing this, by pushing a little bit that feels safe, but then giving some self-soothing opportunities, we're encouraging a nice wave of riding the discomfort versus sitting with it and not feeling prepared and then stewing in it. And then it gets worse.
And becoming overstimulated with it,
Absolutely.
where you turn into freeze mode. The focus is, to gradually open up that practice of sitting with discomfort, so we can face, in my field, like these really shame-based, fear-based thoughts, or these imposters that are wreaking havoc in our mind and body, so we can get through those and accept these are going to come up sometimes. I may have flare-ups and I know what to do.
Yeah, and that's big in my field too. I mean, I'm sure it's a big cross topic here, but like flare-ups are going to happen. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you're human, right? And learning what those flare-ups mean for you, whether it's like an autoimmune painful flare-up. If I work with people with EDS, like you're going to expect some level of this. And when it happens, we don't want to teach shutting down. We want to teach pivoting, teaching that, oh, you can't do this today. That's okay. Let's get on this maybe some other day. What can we do today? Teaching a path through the discomfort and through the normal flare-ups that will occur. It just teaches resilience, and it teaches that some discomfort is going to be part of the response, and that's okay, provided it feels safe, provided you have self-soothing, provided you know what it means for you, provided you're still working towards your meaningful tasks, provided you still have a network that supports you regardless of what's going on. And at the end of the day, you feel proud and not shamed of what you couldn't do.
Absolutely. Just that humanness that we are human. So do we want to see if anyone has any questions at
I would
all?
love to, and and if anyone's getting this in the replay too, you can feel free to leave a DM or a comment with Katie, with myself. We will geek out with you on this, especially if it serves you. Just know that you're not alone. You're human. We're all humans. What we understand about pain, discomfort, and the human brain and body is as accurate as of today. We might be tomorrow. Tomorrow, we might be wrong. We might be fully wrong. We're human, but we're gonna learn more about this together and just level up our ability to show up for ourselves and to face fear and discomfort together. So leave those questions. We can ask them now, but we obviously love to talk. So if there's no questions coming, at least live right now, Katie, like, what would be like a good take home for someone who is maybe has sat with discomfort for too long, or pain, or feels like they're not on the right path right now. Maybe they've tried providers in the past. Maybe they've been led astray. What would be your suggestions, around finding a pathway forward despite maybe some of the challenges of the past?
So the first thing I usually say is, and this may be hard for those who experience trauma because they're dissociated from their body, but be empowered. Like, you get to assess if this provider feels comfortable. This is what I was about to, if the provider feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, then listen to your body, and maybe that's not the best. I also hear people get stuck in a cycle of, they talk about the same thing. If they're not providing this empowerment and practice of sitting with the discomfort in sessions and giving tools of what you can do when you sit with your discomfort on your own, then may not be the best fit of what you're looking for. Because to start this journey of sitting with the discomfort, you want to practice it with someone who your mind and body feel safe with, and that you can learn with and be curious with and explore with. So then you could continue that journey.
I love that. And if I can add on that too, it's okay if it takes like five providers to get to that person. I know from my first foray into mental health, I was dismissed by the first person I thought I could trust. And I was like, well, mental health help is not, I'm not going to get mental health now. I'm not getting mental health help now. I'm going to be in this place, and this is as good as it gets. Like, there are so many different people out there like Katie, that can really connect with people on a different level. And that connection, that safety, that curiosity, you've mentioned that word many times, curiosity is so key because it softens the experience. And this pain is complex, discomfort is complex, emotions are complex, but softening the experience with a provider that challenges you, but is also curious with you and supports you, is key. And that can also cross over to physical therapy, chiropractic, or whoever you trust to help you with your pain experiences.
What do you usually suggest for individuals who maybe have tried a lot in your field?
Honestly, I always want to know personally, like, what worked the best, because some providers just key into better venues. Some people love, and like in my line of work, there's like manual therapists who do mostly just hands-on work, and there's some people that actually get into more of like the biological, psychological, and the social components of pain. I find that the message has to resonate with you, and it has to be hopeful for you. Um, I think that I've seen too many therapists that get good reviews, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work when it comes to the client or the patient meeting them, and that's okay. Like, it's got to be a connection. I feel it's more than just receiving exercise or getting your back cracked or getting some soft tissue work. It's there's that narrative, and there's that communication that's so much like the glue that keeps it together, and that level of therapeutic alliance that's like the secret sauce. And they should also be curious, same as with Katie. Should be curious, I feel. Should be able to sit with you through flares, should be able to help you find tools that are uniquely your own, and not just force things upon you. More like a
Mm-mm.
guide, more like a guide than someone that's going to just be a technician.
And not feel like you're just a client, like being told what to do, and like, if you didn't do this, this is wrong. This, like, really find your journey and what works for you, for your mind and body.
Absolutely. And you know what? It takes trial and error. It
Yeah.
takes, I mean, oh my gosh, like it may take, like I said, five different providers, and that's okay. It's that's the level of discomfort we go through sometimes to find some good people. But once you find someone that resonates with you, and you feel safe, and
Yes.
you feel challenged, and you feel empowered, and they can be curious with you, and they're not going to fix you, but they're going to show you a path that works for you. Well, then you truly heal. Then you truly can step into what you deserve, I feel.
Yes. I love that. So I know we're coming to an end. Does anyone have any more questions? I'm glad we got to cover what you wanted to ask, Rachel. If not, I will definitely repost this. And people, like you said, Brian, can DM each of us. Your Instagram name is Circus DPT.
Circus DPT.
Yep. And I'm Oak Mountain Therapy. So you can follow us, DM us with questions. We can talk about this topic. We know there's a lot of people sitting in pain right now that feel helpless and hopeless and just don't feel the joy that they want in life. And we want to talk with you.
Absolutely. And if we're not someone that can help you right now, we have networks that can we can tap into to help you as well. So know that a when you reach out to any of us, it's not about us fixing you. It's us helping you find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not with us, I know I can probably speak for you too, Katie. If it's we have to make the right fit
Yeah.
to establish the right connection to really move forward in the right way for you specifically. And if you're struggling with a provider right now, know that you always have a choice. You can always find another. You are not set. I don't care what your doctor tells you. You don't have to show up, but I will tell you to please sit with the discomfort of maybe finding a provider or reaching out to someone who can make it easier for you, because it is you're you get your life back, and it looks glorious when you connect to someone who really connects to you.
Safety means seeing your choices. Absolutely.
Oh, amen to that. I love that. I love that. I feel like we should do another one of these sometime soon. Maybe we can poll the audience and see what they'd like to maybe can expand upon or talk more. But I love talking about the connections of like the body, the mind, emotions, pain, and performance. This is like my bread and butter, and I love it so much. So
I love that as so you poll like now, or poll like when people watch this, maybe just type out what they want to hear more of.
sure, we can throw up a poll too on stories. So maybe we'll do that and see what people want to learn about. Because again, we're here for you all. We love to talk, and I love to talk to Katie anyway. So maybe it's a little bit selfish, but okay, it's a lot selfish. But really, in the end, I hope that this helps at least one person out there, or at least encourages you to find the help you deserve.
Yeah, there is hope.
Always.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing this more, Brian. Uh, I will go ahead and post it, and thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it, and thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you. I'll talk to you all soon.
Bye now.